So if your family member wants to join you on a deployment, then they are more than welcome to fundraise as well, or you can fundraise on their behalf, and they're more than welcome to join with us on a deployment. Very good question. So at Reach, we wanted to make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity to be able to go on a deployment and hand deliver aid with their own hands. For that reason, we've been able to work really hard on securing a special budget to be able to cover all costs such as hotels and flights.
Yeah, carry on.
No. So the way that it works is we've worked really hard to secure a special budget from our admin fund to be able to cover all costs on a deployment, to allow as much of your donations and fundraising efforts to go towards the cause that you will be visiting and serving with your own hands. So when it comes to going on a deployment, if you do want your own room, because we do a twin sharing, then you are more than welcome to cover the cost of that room yourself, and we'll arrange that booking for yourself. Amazing question. I'm sure you'd love to visit children that are most in need and provide them with a gift to keep them happy and smiling. Now, when we ever do deployments, we always try and include our beloved, beautiful children as much as possible, and that includes providing gifts for them that we purchase locally. But no one would be permitted to bring anything with them from the UK or US or anywhere around the world to the country destination. Everything that is delivered is purchased locally via our teams on the ground and specifically designed for those that are most in need.
Can I just pay for my flights?
If you want to pay for your flights, you are more than welcome. We have many reachers that want to try and save the charity money as much as possible. Our budget that we've got specially designed for our reachers, they want to help us save that. So if that's if that's what you want to do, Bismillah, you are more than welcome to. We'll show you which flight we are about to book, inshallah, and then your kindness is very much appreciated. But everybody that goes on a deployment must fundraise. So whether you want to cover your own costs or whether or not, you still have to fundraise the full amount of your target. Will there be food on the deployment? Well, I kind of hope so. We're usually away for around 5 to 7 days on average, maybe a little bit longer sometimes for deployments like Pakistan. So there will be food, inshallah. We always arrange breakfast and dinner, and we request for you to bring any snacks you may want, and we'll always endeavor to also provide snacks throughout the day, inshallah, as well as naturally drinking water. But food, you will definitely eat, inshallah.
Is there a time limit to raising funds?
Is there a time limit to raising funds? Absolutely not. When we created the Global Reach community, we wanted to remove as many barriers as possible. And one of them was an unlimited time when it comes to fundraising. So take your time, break it down in steps, inshallah. We've had reaches that took them 3-4 years, and we've also had reaches that take them hours. So it's all down to you.
Okay, per person.
The deployment target that you see on our Reach calendar is per person. If you want to combine that with more than one person, then just double, triple, quadruple, and so on and so forth, depending on how many people you want to combine within the page.
For deployment.
You will be selected for a deployment once you have completed your fundraising target, inshallah. You will work with your team captain, with our Reach staff members to hit that target, inshallah. When you start getting close to it, then we'll have the conversation to see when you are eligible for the next deployment, inshallah. Deployments are getting booked very quickly all the time, and that's why we want to make sure that your space is reserved. But it's not guaranteed up until we as staff members confirm your place. So if you work in a healthcare profession, or if you are a doctor or a dentist, at the moment we don't have specific deployments or medical deployments. Our deployments are focused on supporting people fundraising and then going out and hand delivering aid, and everything that we provide is locally sourced. So if there is somebody that requires a certain procedure, then we will endeavor to fund it locally via the doctors that are on the ground. But maybe in the future, inshallah, we will have deployments tailored to those that work in the medical profession. So what you'll be doing on the ground depends on the time of year that you go in, depends on the country that you will go to, but it is including and not limited to packing, fun days with children, gifts, cooking, grilling, preparing rice, salads, hand delivering food parcels, hygiene kits, water wells, solar panel wells, all kinds of different projects, depending on the country that you go to and the season that you go to as well, inshallah. But before the deployment, we will let you know what to expect inshallah. And on the day of the deployment, when the first day, we will brief and go through the detailed itinerary, number of families that are going to be supported, and so on and so forth. So you will always be armed with the full information that you need. Will I get to meet Mufti Menk? Look, I hope he joins us on a deployment. When he does, then you are more than welcome, inshallah. Mufti, you got to come on a deployment, man. Our Human Appeal, we're a faith-based organization, and Reach deployments are designed to elevate your spirituality. And alhamdulillah, we have many Muslims taking part. We've also had some non-Muslims taking part, but being connected to our Islamic principles is very important, and segregation is a part of that. And that's why on transportation we will have brothers at the front and sisters at the back, for example. We will, when we go to eat, for example, we'll have brothers on one table and sisters on another table. And it's very important that we follow our basic principles of Islam whilst we're on this journey, especially. I've had this question many times. I'm currently in a camp in Turkey, and you know, this camp is another camps, another refugee camps, and other villages are people's homes, they're people's neighborhoods, they're people's community, and we will not want to impose on them because their hospitality is so high. They'll want to take care of us, and that's why we will ensure that we stay somewhere different. We will usually stay in some form of modest and comfortable hotel that's also safe for our reachers as they travel with us to serve those most in need. So only Lebanon in August has a different target to the rest of the year, and that's because August just became a very popular month, and obviously we are limited in our capacity and how many times we can go. So what we did was we elevated the target by just a slight amount, so that way people, those that are motivated to go in August, can raise just a little bit more, and it also helps us reach many more people whilst they're on that journey. So that's why we pack the itinerary even more during August. So in some deployments, our reachers will be fundraising towards a water well. Typically, it is one water well per reacher. However, if you were to raise double or triple your target for that specific deployment, inshallah, then we can work with you, inshallah, so that you can inaugurate more than one well.
Travel back alone rather than with the charity.
So we get this question many times, and naturally, understandably, that especially those that are traveling a little bit further may want to extend their flights and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, our Reach policy is to book you from the date that the deployment starts till the date that deployment ends. We are not a travel agency. We are a humanitarian movement designed to provide you the opportunity to hand deliver aid with your own hands, and I hope that you can understand that. If you wish to contact the airline directly yourself and amend your flights, you are naturally more than welcome to do so. Our team captains are amazing. They support so many of you on a voluntary basis, ensuring that your pages are correct, motivating you, organizing team meetings, sharing ideas. You will have regular contact with your team captains, inshallah. So your first point of contact will always be them. And naturally, if you want to reach out to myself or anybody else from within the Reach team, you are more than welcome to do so. But you will always be supported, inshallah. Believe it or not, we've had many reachers join us on a deployment with zero social media presence. Social media is not the be all and end all. It's not the only tool when it comes to fundraising. You have a community, or you have somebody that knows other people and has a community. You rely on those that are around you, and that's why we will work with you, and your team captains will work with you on formulating a strategy to be able to support you in hitting your target, inshallah, so that you can join us on deployments like this. That might be your opinion that the target is high. It's actually not that high compared to the rest of the amazing organizations that also do deployments. We're one of the few, and we're at the moment, alhamdulillah, by the barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the largest deployments community in the world. And we also do not have any registration fee, and we do not expect you to book any flights, and that's why it's very reasonable to have the targets that we do have, and everything that you raise, you will be on the ground delivering and showing an example of to those that have donated. So one of the requirements is that you have a valid insurance on the trip. Depending on the country that you're coming from and the country that you're going to, you may need to have yellow fever vaccinations or something similar. But before it comes to the actual deployment, we will share any knowledge that we do have, and naturally you can also do your own research in terms of entry requirements from the country that you are traveling from. Is the food halal? I hope so. I hope the food that we eat is halal. As a faith-based organization, the food that we do eat, inshallah, will be halal, and we don't endeavor to go to somewhere that's not halal. And if they don't serve halal meat, then we will find the halal options on the menu, inshallah. Will you have time to shop on deployment? The short answer is really no. We have a very, very packed itinerary, but obviously in the airport, if you'd like to buy some souvenirs for your family members, then highly recommended. So if you need the toilet whilst you are visiting the village or the camp, you would use whatever is available. So if we're in Kenya, for example, it's typically a hole in the ground. If it's in a refugee camp, then one of the amazing families may invite you to their home for you to use their facilities. I can go for years and years on the benefits of the REACH program, but if you want to elevate yourself, if you want to learn new skills, if you want to meet like-minded people, if you want to connect deeper to your spirituality, deeper to your humanity, then the Global Reach community is for you. What training do you get? So throughout your journey with us, you'll have a team captain to support you on your fundraising journey, and they will train you on how to fundraise and how to create a online page and so on and so forth. And then before we go on to deployment, we will have a webinar to prepare you for the deployment, inshallah. And then on the deployment, we will go through the trip itinerary and the do's and don'ts, and sort of the mechanism when it comes to delivering aid, as well as a vigorous safeguarding training to ensure that when you are delivering aid and you are serving those most in need, we're doing it with dignity. So what you should bring on a deployment. So right before the deployment, inshallah, you will have a webinar where we'll say what to bring, what not to bring, and so on and so forth. So don't worry about that. But we are also going to produce a video to show you what to pack on a deployment. So in some countries you may need a visa depending on where you're traveling to and where you're traveling from, and we will support you in that process, inshallah. You can actually go on a deployment with zero money with you whatsoever, because we will look after you to the best of our ability, inshallah. But bringing some cash with you is highly recommended, especially if you want to buy some souvenirs at the airport for your loved ones. Our deployment safe. Now look, safety is one of our main priorities. We will make sure that wherever we travel to, we can travel to safely and we can deliver to those most in need safely. And also, I don't want to risk myself, I love you all too, but I don't want to risk myself. But inshallah, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will go to places that are safe, and alhamdulillah, thus far we have had zero incidents. We have many people that would like to bring their children with them, naturally, because they want to show their children what the world is like and inspire them for the future. At the moment, our Global Reach community is not suited for children, and what some may see may find it a little bit difficult, and the days are in some cases difficult conditions, and that's why we have a policy of 18 plus to join on a deployment. If whilst you're on a deployment you find an experience or a story or something that you've seen triggering, then we naturally recommend that you follow your local country mental health advice and authorities. We will endeavor to do our best to support all reachers on the trip to open up about their feelings and things that they have experienced. But if you do find something really difficult, then please approach your local healthcare provider to support you on whatever you're experiencing.